Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the AJ Roberts Show, where today we are delighted to be joined by these two lovely ladies from across the other pond over in Australia. We've got Georgie and Claire, the Venus twins. So happy to have you on the show, ladies.
G'day.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, AJ.
Yeah, we're very excited to finally meet you and chat with you.
Certainly
I'm a big fan of what you do, and you come with such high reviews from obviously mutual friends of ours. And I've seen you guys, with Brad and stuff like that. So it's great to be introduced and obviously to bring you onto the show. But for the benefit of the guys and girls who maybe haven't seen your work, is it all right to just explain a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So, Georgie and I we're from Melbourne, Australia. We're mums. We met around 2 and a bit years ago during the beginning of the pandemic, and we are now we found through similar interests and seeking spiritual knowledge during that time that we both lived a street away from each other. I was doing past life regression work, and Georgie came to see me, and we became firm, fast friends. And then we started working as our third eyes started to explode open, the crown chakra opening, that we started working with pendulum for just amongst other things, meditation and sun gazing and all of these wonderful ways of trying to heal and decalcify that pineal gland, because we were keen to go for that. And
we were both going deep within. We were discovering all kinds of things and delving into Dolores Cannon and all kinds of different spiritual work. And we were locked up in Melbourne severely, so what else was there to do other than do the deep dives? And we were both awake. We both woke up at the same time. It was no coincidence we met. We felt like we knew each other when we met. And from that moment on, we started to catch up and go for walks when we were allowed out of our house, although we didn't stick by any rules, did we, Claire?
No. Do you think the pandemic did that for you?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So if it never happened or never occurred, do you think that chances are you wouldn't have met in the capacity that you would have met, and you wouldn't have done all that in like deep work?
Possibly, yeah.
Possibly, but it was.
I was already on that path, and so was Claire. We were already quite spiritual. We were already very interested in most of our lives. We were very interested in metaphysical stuff, and
my spiritual sort of stuff came in more with having. Overcoming alcoholism and surrendering and handing over to my higher power. That for me was the beginning of my awakening 4 years ago. Although it took me 4 years to get to that point where I stopped completely. So that's when I, really started to clear. My body started to clear out and all that. And then, I'm thinking, started doing yoga and, just slowly they started and I started remembering feeling a pressure on my head, like someone touching it kind of, and wondering what that was all about. Anyway, we started using pendulums, and the interesting part was we were getting the same message, but separately from each other.
We'd catch up to talk, and we would compare what was going on for each of us, and it would be the same information and about us, and then we were connected to each other, and being told that we were identical twins on Venus was a big thing.
And we're like, what is that all about? And that we're going up on a ship.
There was a spaceship called the Enterprise in Earth's atmosphere that was taking us up at night, because our souls are on board this ship in pods, apparently.
We're just thinking,
we are the avatars down here, and that we're being taken on the ship regularly to be healed, and that we are healers. Both of us are healers.
Gene Decode verified that, because I was a massive fan of his, and somehow happened to get into his Australian Decode group in the beginning stages of when he started bringing out information on a platform called Blessed to Teach before he left them and went out on his own. And he used to do these big, huge Zoom calls, Q&As, and you could ask anything. It was so fascinating because his knowledge is just out of control. Amazing. And I got on really early, and I said, Gene, my name's Claire and I'm from Australia, and I've got a question on what we're being taken up on a ship. Is that true? And he said, yes, that's correct. And I went, and I was thinking, come on, tell me more.
He said, next
question. I'm like, oh, but anyway.
We got that little confirmation, and I was listening at the time somewhere else and thought, oh, wow, okay, there's one confirmation.
We ended up getting an interview with him, and it was just so incredible. And he verified that we're twins, and he couldn't hardly even tell the difference between us when looking at us in our multi-dimensional self, and that we're from a planet from Venus, but originally Zene beings.
Amazing.
Which is all the information that we got. Like, we remember spelling that out. Remember Zene? We're like, Zene.
So they're a planet. It was a planet in the Andromedan galaxy, Zene. And the beings are beautiful healers. They innately know how to heal themselves from birth and always transform planets. They go around saving planets from evil and destruction and transforming them into planets of healing and well-being. And that's how we live on Venus. We choose to live on Venus because Zene was destroyed, that planet, a long, long time ago. So that's our origin. And there were 1,000 people
beings. 1,000 beings were allowed to. They were on a mission. Is that right? When the planet was destroyed, and we were one of them.
And
it's quite interesting, actually, as I'm drinking out of a mug that says you're a limited edition on it.
Blue.
Yeah,
that's blue.
Yeah,
and it's I think the timing of like even this conversation is actually like fantastic, because I've just run another one of my courses, and like just I've the chat in it at the moment is because everyone is still in the same chat forum, like every single course member who's done all the courses, they're all in their own groups. It's amazing, but they're like it's like this accelerating thirst for knowledge, but also connection, and then they're sort of like the connection to each other, and so many of them are finding connections with people that they feel like they've had many lives with. Do you know what I mean? Just like you girls have been brought together in that fashion as well. And I'm literally right now seeing it so many places. People are just having these like ahas, and these just like, wow, yeah, I really feel like we've known each other for all this time. And they're like they suddenly start realizing these missions that they're on, or they're bound to go on. They're starting to see their roles and all of this as well. I find people are starting to walk or step into their roles as part of this as well, like over the last few months in quite a rapid fashion. Is that something that you've seen, like with your work that you do?
Definitely.
Yes.
We
daily basis,
eventually started to channel quite well, both of us, and we've been guided through this incredible journey together over the last few years. And it began with creating a business together in healing called Wisdom Woven in Time Healing.
Our guides told us the name of it and everything.
We were given so much information and channeled, and
the whole website
was
channeled.
Website and beautiful.
And when did you realize the pair of you channeling was something that you were supposed to do as part of all this? Was that like during the same sort of period over the last couple of years?
Yeah,
we were doing it exactly at the same time, weren't we? So it started off very slowly with spelling out words, and then the telepathy came through. So we'd hear the words before they were even spelt out, so that we could just speak it and flow.
And then when we came together, it was more powerful. So then we started doing it together, and then we were getting all this information together about both of us and what we're here to do, what our mission is. And we've just been guided so beautifully through this time and this mission. And it is to help humanity, and it's to heal the masses and to help train healers throughout the world. And at first, when we channeled that for our website, we're here to train healers throughout the world, we both thought, should we really be putting this on our website? I mean, we're still learning ourselves about this stuff, and now we're doing it. We've written a course.
Yeah, here it is.
Train healers throughout the world, and it's
called Return to Sovereignty and God, the course, and that's what they meant by that, because they made us write it down on our website as a mission statement, and we're like, well, okay. We trust them.
And flowed with everything that's come our way. And it's just been one beautiful thing after another unfolding before us, and quite an adventure we've been on. So the beautiful course we launched just under 2 months ago, and it's all online. Wow. And it's for healers throughout the world to remove the harmful components of the stuff in the arm that people have taken. And there's an extra module we've only just recently discovered and channeled. We're going to be doing module number 11, because there are 10 in the original version, And this extra module will just be added on and free of charge for all those who are doing the course already and coming into the course. And it's to heal all of humanity from all the toxins, poisons, and harmful things from big pharma and everything we've been subjected to in this life we've been living. So it's very exciting.
We've been guided towards some very unwell people who've taken it. We try not and let the story behind you know, how they took it and why, and
there's no
deeply
judgment,
into the symptom of, no, completely the opposite. We don't want to feed into the fear of why they took it, as I did hear you say earlier, and I'm like, oh, so glad you said that. You know, we don't want to. We're all about, you know, teaching these people how body is such a miraculous machine and can heal itself from anything, and self-talk and not feeding into that fear that they're sitting in, bringing them out of that, returning them to themselves, their pure sovereignty, and, you know, at the same time that's returning to the God self within. So
that's been one of my biggest messages recently, is because and you know, I try not to get involved with like calling people out by names and stuff like that, but there's like too many people at the minute that are going around the world, like just constantly banging on about the harms and everything of obviously the shots and stuff like that. But there's no solution that comes with any of it. So all it does is it keeps people that decided that was for them at the time was the right thing to do. It keeps them in them low fear-based levels of consciousness, doesn't it? And so now they're mass manifesting potential harms and disease and stuff like that, because the same people that they listen to, doctors and members of parliament or Congress, are now going out and speaking out. So like they're playing their little roles, but at the same time, there's no solutions with any of it. And that's why it's so important for people to look into people like yourselves, myself, Brad, and all these people that are teaching people like the power of the mind and the body, so that you and then whilst being surrounded by loads of people on the same journey, because you're not going to get that, funny enough, from your doctor, and you're not going to get that from your MP. Or you're not being reconnected with who you are by lingering in those information cycles. Same as like all the talks about 5G and chemtrails and masks and blah, 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 all the same fear-based conversations that keep people in that low vibe. Like, take those subjects out of it. These individuals are no longer relevant because they don't have that connection to source. You know,
that's right.
And so they keep people in a box. Whereas what you girls are doing is like absolutely phenomenal, you know, and like this is what it's all about now, like remembering who you are. Okay, well, I'm having these inklings, like, or potential insights. They just don't know it's like that yet. And it's like, what does it all mean? Where do I go? So it's just exactly what we're doing, creating a space for people to sort of look in and just, you know, even if it's just dip your toe in a little bit at first, because there's always something that resonates, isn't there? And I'm sure you ladies get that a lot, you know, people who are just starting to discover what they're truly about. But I guess does that make it one of the best things about what you do? Because it does for me. It's like seeing the journey of people.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. What about the healing we did today? Yeah. Oh my goodness. We saw a beautiful woman who, you know, took 3 of them and severely, you know, incapacitated, wheelchair bound young lady, children, and, you know, just lost all hope.
Yeah.
All hope is gone for her, you know, and it was just such an honor and a gift to be able for us to join together. And we don't always work together, but we did for this particular lady. We were guided to do that, and it was just magnificent.
It was the most powerful experience for us. The energy was so powerful coming through us. We were swaying. The 2 of us were standing together doing the Reiki and doing this removal healing on her body and soul remotely, because she was interstate. But we were both feeling it coming through our entire body, up through our legs, crying
Bit sniffy. I was a bit sniffy.
Like this,
yeah.
like my body was literally, I was thinking, I can't stop my body moving right now. There's so much energy coming through. It was amazing.
They all come through us. God, Jesus,
they keep telling us too that together as twins, we are so incredibly powerful when we work together. So,
so is the person is very much empowered to be a part of this too. So they have to actually sign a consent form, which is, and they have to read a document about what, because a lot of these people, as you know, she's lost hope, therefore she's lost part of herself, I guess, belief in herself, forgiveness of self, who and what God is. And this is not anything religious. We want to make that really clear, because we're not religious people as such. We weren't brought up that way. But we believe in a greater power, a divine oneness that, and this has just become stronger and stronger and stronger since we met.
That subject in itself is like extremely powerful, isn't it, for people especially for people like myself who's been in the military, where they pull out any connection to spirituality, completely. Like many moons ago, like regiments and squadrons and stuff like that would have like spiritual emblems on all their crests and everything else like that. But pretty much post World War II, that's all been removed. So you no longer operate from like spirit, mind, body. You're literally mind and body. Here's your equipment. Go and do a job. Like, that's literally it. So, every single British-born person I pretty much worked with had no connection to any religion or God or anything. It was only really the Commonwealth soldiers, like from Fiji and Ghana and Jamaica and stuff like that. They were all very Christian. They're still like heavily religious based. You know what I mean? But I never met anyone in my entire career who was spiritual. And I always kind of joke about it, saying like, can you imagine somebody Friday night in the mess just saying like, I'm having an early one tonight, big meditation in the morning. It just
wasn't like culture.
It just doesn't exist, right? So I think going back to that subject of like changing your perspective of what you think God is, from what you perceive it at that time, is the big game changer. So taking that mindset away from like this big overarching dude with a big grey beard, like a puppet, like moving everything around, to actually you are the God, you're the creator of all things and stuff like that. And and not to look external. That's literally the key catalyst, isn't it? Like just going within rather than everything external.
Yes, absolutely. It's the greatest act of self-love to go within. And that's exactly what there's modules in our course all about that.
And that's what's so powerful. And I mean, like in terms of the people that have been doing your courses, like talk to us about some of the journeys you've seen and like the changes, because I think that's like that was what resonates with people most.
Well, from the people that we've done the healings on, because Claire and I have been doing them for a while now, seeing men come to us and be completely overwhelmed and in tears when they come to the realization of how this is changing their life and the journey that they're embarking on just by coming and going through this healing too, and getting to this point in their life is absolutely beautiful and very moving.
Surrendering,
the facilitators, the feedback so far, it's still early days, but the feedback from the facilitators that have done the course is that they find it extremely high vibrational and very moving, and go through an incredible journey of their own healing and growing and connecting to God, and learning all about self-love as well. It's a huge part of it in doing the course. And
it doesn't just teach you how to do the actual healing. It's a journey to heal the healer. The whole thing.
Walking the talk, really.
And the channeled teachings are in each module, which are really beautiful. I actually had a client yesterday who I can't remember how she tested it, but she's a healer. Most of our clients do something along those lines, not all, but a lot ask them on that path. And she did this test, and she goes, I test every. She's from the States. I'm trying to do an American accent, but I won't. Scrap that. I won't even try. But she said, I tested your manual, your course manual, for its high, and out of everything's out of 1,000. She said it was 997 out of 1,000, which she goes, that's the highest I've ever counted.
You're talking about a vibration.
Yeah.
She tests everything for the vibration.
The frequency, the vibration of it. So basically the contents of this manual, but the course the course itself is completely online, so people can do it at their own timing and at their own pace and from anywhere in the world. And there's videos and PDFs to download. So where we do videos, it took us about a year to download and create and put onto a course format. It was a really big exercise.
It covers every type of learner too, because you get instructional, practical videos where we chat about our own experience and how it works for us, and the practical side of it and the hands-on side. We give a demonstration video of how to do the whole healing. It's all really, really well laid out.
And that's the beauty of it all. And one of the key things you mentioned there was the men, and it's something that I've noticed in a big way, because I'm getting a lot of DMs, and it's from men. And at my live talks I've been doing around the country, I've been getting more guys coming on their own, which is a real sign, great sign, because they get all the attack on them, that's been decades in the making, and in the same countries, same blueprint. And I think moving forward, that number's getting so much bigger. I'm seeing more men taking up breath work, meditation, yoga, cold water therapy, stuff like that. So the raw barbarianism in men is coming back in a big way, and I'm seeing that in UK. Although
we say, bring it on.
We're seeing it. Absolutely love it.
Although there is we have the duality and the polarity, like all there to be seen if you pay attention to it. And that's what I'm saying to people here, like in UK, and I was mentioning it, offline before. Like if you go to a town centre in UK, most men just look really run down, overweight. They all look the same, wearing the same clothes, and they literally look like your classic NPCs, right? But then you've got like a bigger pool of men, real raw men that are coming through, and young teenage men who, I'm not sure how many teens and that you've worked with, but like the people I'm sort of working with now, the teenagers, they're being men. Like, as in, they know there's something about them. They know the information. These knowings are popping off left, right, and center, which is why so many of them are struggling and labeled ADHD and autistic. People don't think of it like that. It's because they're very special generation. And
Dolores Cannon always said that.
Yeah. And it's like, and I'm seeing it with my own eyes. They just know all this information, and I think like that's why we need to be so protective over them. And especially the males, because they're getting hammered, chop this off, chop that off, or, you can't be yourself. And
that little boy that you spent time with, the fabulous guitarist. My
Leonardo.
Lord.
Shout out to Leonardo.
Talented or what? Hi, Leonardo. If you're watching this, you just are amazing. It's the most magnificent musician.
But it's been quite a calling for me. I've as part of this, I just suddenly feel this, like I'm getting people contacting me saying we need to be, so his parents contacted me saying we need to connect with you. I'm not sure why, we just have to. And I just jumped in my car and drove 4 hours to Manchester to go and hang out with him. So, and it was and that's kind of been the way recently. I've been connecting with like these amazing talents who are clearly like starseeds, like they so
hats off to the parents first homeschooling him and just keeping him out of the system. Wow, you can do that. Please do it, people.
We're all finding each other. We're all attracted to each other. And what you were talking about before with, are you finding that you're meeting lots of like-minded souls and that everybody's coming together like this? Well, it's definitely happening. It's been happening big time for us for the last year and a bit, since things really exploded for us after we did our first interview with Mark Atwood. And then all of a sudden, all these mainly Zene beings are being attracted to us that are here and connecting with us. And we're really strongly feeling the connection to unity now. Unity is the big word. I really want to talk about this with you tonight and how you feel about it too. And I wanted to show you something
ringing in the ears
that leads
now
into what we want to talk about a bit about unity consciousness. And we had a client who sent me this picture a couple of days ago.
I'll read out what she said about it.
It's yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah.
So she drew this, and it took her 2 weeks, hours and hours, and it just comes through her. She doesn't even know where it comes from.
Show it a bit more up close, perhaps, Georgie, in some bits.
Well, then
It's very, very detailed, isn't it?
Yeah. So there's the elements of earth.
Yeah. Fire, wind, water.
And then the top half of it, her name's Sue May.
She felt that this drawing, when she was, coming out, or felt like it was heralding something monumental. And she got some feedback from a Telegram site called the Ascension Exploration. And the gentleman on there said that the energies coming in now are showing up as sacred geometry, streaming in like linearly. And this energy is showing up as design, and it has its own life force infusing into the atmosphere and the earth and every part of our being. So yeah, we just thought we might show you a few of that. Amazing.
She asked me to feel into it. So I sat and felt into it, and I was getting like there are 12 of
I'll hold it
a
up
lot of the,
if you like. People can have a look at it. Other people might get some information from it too.
I was really feeling like some of it was like the cells of the human body under a microscope. And also there's this picture of the Schumann resonance that's been, recently shown to everybody. Sorry, that's a little bit blurry.
Yeah, it's massive spike because people are feeling it physically, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I keep sort of thinking human cells and, and then that was expanding out to we're cells that are multiplying and becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and unity consciousness. And then I was channeling a bit about it too. And they said to me that—
How many holes was there? 12, did you say?
Yeah, there's 12 of those.
Yeah.
Sort of
it could be along with like people's like 12 major chakras. Portals are opening in
yes,
bodies,
thank you for saying so. Yeah, we're just,
and
it's
the
interesting
aura,
you say that.
Yeah, and so many people are feeling it, aren't they? So you're feeling you're becoming like whole, and like all the elements, earth, wind, fire, water, are being connected to the earth, aren't we?
Yes.
And pulling that white light through our 12 chakra systems, the higher.
So glad you mentioned the 12, because our guide said to us that this module 11 that's coming is all about the 12 auric layers, because most people just think there's 7, but there's 12.
Yeah. And I think people who have these big energy fields are fully understanding it, like myself. I know because when I do my talks, I've had people say, when I've got like within like a meter of them, a couple of feet, like they've been like, whoa, and they get suddenly all this crown action and third eye action. And like 3 people at this gathering said it to me the other day when I was stood in front of them. So it's like people's auric fields are becoming really big, and then when they're together, they're like you guys, like when you're together, it's like it's massive.
We're getting the message more too now that change in the Schumann resonance, there's lots of different people trying to feel into what's going on with that, but I feel a bit like it's to do with the star seeds uniting finally in their consciousness.
Yep.
Their consciousness finally reaching a point where we are all now wanting to unite and wanting to heal humanity, rather than all being so divided in how we feel about it all. We've got to a point where we're all now very consciously our intention is to heal everybody, to not judge anybody, to have compassion for everybody, and to just want to see all of humanity and this planet healed. And we're starting to rise to that consciousness all together, and that intention.
Yeah,
and it's changed the energy of the planet.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something I've been thinking about a lot, like from my talks and the courses. It's like the right people are coming onto the courses and coming to the talks. Like I don't need hundreds of people sat, in rows listening to one person, like some messiah at the front preaching all this information. And then they walk out and then they just they only remember half of it, and then they just say, yeah, tonight was great. Whereas in you put people through an experience about how powerful their minds and their body is, and it's all about them, and it's very interactive, and they discovering who they are a bit, and then I'll take people through a proper breathwork session at the end to even open that gateway even further, and then it's just like they then go and tell 20-30 people, we create this ripple effect.
We'd like to do your course too next time you have one.
Well, yeah, and it's just like the people are now just connected all the time. They're meeting up everywhere, and they're doing their own Zoom calls and all this stuff. And so it's kind of like, and it's just like you guys are doing, like bringing all these people together. So we're kind of like starseed shepherds, as someone called me yesterday.
Yeah, well, our facilitators are setting up websites and healing businesses and promoting what they're doing, and part of it's our course and putting their certificate on there. And
we'll send you your course login codes, right? You've got it. It's free. You're doing it.
Thank you.
I think Tom's doing it. Brad's done it.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, but honestly, open arm welcome for you girls to join me on my next one in July. It'd be awesome to obviously have you girls on there as well, just as part of it all. And we've had several Aussies come on because of the time difference. It works out quite well for them.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And obviously, like, you girls are in the planning stages of organizing a tour. Obviously, it's just planning stages at the moment. Is there anything that you want to share about it?
Sure, why not? We're finding VIPs, like people like yourself, Mark Atwood, Tom Numbers, hopefully Brad Wozni, and other people we're hoping to join this. It's called the Great Aussie Truth Tour, spreading the love, basically bringing people together in community in Australia. I'm working with a event planner. Her name is Cheryl Davison, and she is incredible. She's also a healer too, from Sydney. Brilliant organizer. So she's put together a beautiful document. So we're going to be having 3 events in each city, and those are 2 cities, Melbourne, Sydney, and Byron Bay. One of them will be a daytime event, which they're all ticketed events. It's quite a big undertaking. But we're just trying to nut out the venues, and there'll be a gala dinner on the second night, and then on the third day there'll be an excursion opportunity for people to spend time with the VIPs. There's a limited number of tickets for that. This isn't to make money. There's a chosen charity that we're working with called the One Humanity Movement, which was created by a gentleman called Matt Jordan here in Australia. It started off as his page was called Jab Injuries Australia, and that grew into Jab Injuries Global. And the offshoot of that is the real
OHM.
The One Humanity Movement, which is providing help financial assistance for the jab injured who've been completely ignored by government.
We have similar charities over here that there's a lot of people coming forward to really voice their the importance of it all, really. And and myself, I've been helping a lot of people individually, and I've just had these fantastic pillars from a company called Orinoco delivered yesterday by the founders of it, and they're basically like consciousness based, so it's all like set up to me and the energy that I bring to it. And then you basically put these 3 pillars like around, say, a bed or a sofa or stuff like that, and it kind of calibrates you to your frequency and clears lots of blockages and stuff like that. They're phenomenal pieces of equipment.
Wow.
So I can actually start doing it in my own home, with people, so there's it's just a small space for the individual to come and heal, basically, no judgment, no shame, no nothing. We've all made decisions in the past, have done things that we maybe not, happy with or pleased with. Like, every single one of us have got traumas and past, and the people like yourselves who've often had addictions have come through it and tend to be the ones that are the best healers and the biggest healers, because they've been through all these things themselves. And I always say to people in my talks, there's why should there ever be judgment on anything, especially like places like Melbourne, it was just horrendous. Authoritarianism and totalitarianism was just beyond comprehension. I've interviewed several people from Melbourne during it. So
home of the NW, the New World Order, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it was so when you're faced with a predicament, not even knowing you're actually in the middle of a war, and it's you're faced with a predicament that you're going to lose your house, this, that, and the other, based on a pharmaceutical product that you may have had some of before, like Hep A, Hep B, polios, all the rest of it. So you kind of like, the mindset's like, oh, right, it was just the same as all the rest. People make the decisions that they think are right for them at the time, and that's why there's no right or wrong. You know, there's none. You know what I mean? I mean, fair enough. If you chose to do it just to piss someone off, then then that's on you. Do you know what I mean? But if it's literally like, you think you lose your job, you know, all the mandates that were everywhere, all that kind of stuff. There's no judgment whatsoever, like none. And I always say to people, put your hand up if you had an anthrax jab, and no one puts a hand up, and I went, I did. In the army to go to Iraq, I was really ill off it. That was my wake up call for vaccines. But I said, does that make me any lesser or better of a person? You know, but I know full well I've healed from all that, because otherwise I wouldn't be in the physical being I am now and experiencing what I experienced.
Perfect example. The body can heal itself from anything.
And I had really bad opioid addiction as well. Post surgery on my back, I was constantly masking pain and discomfort with pills, and it literally got beyond stupid. And I had to almost coach myself off that as well. So it's going through those experiences is what kind of helps others, but also resonates, which is important. And it's just showing people we don't need these chemicals at outside sources, you know, to heal ourselves. And you know, I know you guys agree that I think it's without doubt to this day the biggest hoax in human history is that, you know, we can't heal ourselves and we need poison to fix us.
Learning too that, you know, that you can't catch a virus.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a big one for me when a guy called Tom Barnett here in Australia brought that video out. And I'm like, oh, really?
And Andrew Kaufman's a great person to listen to and tune into. I've had him on the podcast. He's Dr. Andrew Kaufman. He's phenomenal of the germ versus terrain theory.
Right. Yeah.
And again, I've said this many times recently. I'm like, if we took germ theory out of all the germ theory BS, out of all of this stuff that's going on, the whole of Big Pharma collapses, and nearly every doctor is suddenly irrelevant.
Big Pharma don't like us very much.
Just that one thing.
Yeah, it's a massive fear program, isn't it?
Yeah.
And taking back our sovereignty is all about loving ourselves, believing in ourselves, and remembering who we really are, and that being part of creation and having the creator within us all. Of course, we can heal anything. We are the creator here, having an incredible experience. All of us are fractals of God, I believe.
Yeah, 100%.
Experiencing all there is to experience, but we're all one, really. And coming back to being united is the ultimate goal. I had a real epiphany about that today. It is all about our unity consciousness coming back together again. Because imagine what we can create when we all create together. I mean, us wonder twins, we create incredible power when we're together. That's just two of us. Imagine if all of us come together again as one and create the ultimate that we want in this world and this life. I feel like that's the goal of this experience, is to go through all these incredible things from the 3D reality of being heavily programmed and dumbed down and going through incredibly difficult experiences here, to remembering who we are, rediscovering our connection to ourselves and our love for ourselves, and ultimately in the end all coming together as one again, remembering who and what we are and creating the ultimate in the end, which is healing ourselves completely, enlightenment. Everything that is happening in this ascension and this awakening is this experience we've come to have, and we're all figuring it out bit by bit, all of us on our own journey. But in the end, let's come together as one, and that's why we want to organise what we're trying to organise, and
get everyone to Australia
together. And so we're attempting to take it on. It hasn't happened yet, but we're manifesting it and we're attempting it. This is the first time we've really spoken about it publicly, but
well, I mean, I've been manifesting going to Australia to do some talks, and then I get a lovely email from you girls. So
right,
it's a powerful tool,
Yeah, we're talking more. It's just got to happen. There's so many people in the UK and in the States, I'm sure many other countries too, that we don't tend to see so much coming out of maybe New Zealand, but not so much in the South American countries. We're not sort of all linked, but we will be, starting to meet different, just in person. Let's get all together and brainstorm and
bring our energy together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what. And people love it. I see it with my own eyes at my talks, and I've organised, as I mentioned to you before, a gathering for probably got about 100 people coming now to Glastonbury. Yeah, a week on Friday. Yeah. I want to hold purely for that. So I'm running my amazing friends doing sound bath, and then I'm going to take everyone through like different breathwork to modalities. And then we've got obviously these healing pillars I'm going to take with us as well, as people can experience that. And then everyone's eating together outside, like breaking bread, and then everyone gets to watch me dance like a complete idiot afterwards.
Oh, really? What are you doing? What sort of dancing are you doing?
Just mine.
Interpretive dancing.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
So, yeah, and then the next morning we're having like a big meditation thing at the Glastonbury tour as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And again, it's just people just want to be part of that energy and groups and stuff like that, because I'm a big believer that the whole pandemic and like the whole scam of it all, like it was designed to really wake people up, and it's been the best thing that's happened to people. I know at the time people say, well, it was awful, but like what it's done for people and collectively has been like monumental.
Yes. Yeah, we've been through lots, it's been a real, balancing act, because, as I was listening to your post today, we've all lost something along the way. I know it's had to be like that, but we've gained so much more. It's been so amazing, like the past it's almost 3 years now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it nearly 3 years? Yeah. It's just, I just
past 3 years.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Gosh.
Time flies.
No.
But it has, and it's but I'm a big believer in that. Like the people who we fell out with, or still, those people that have fallen out of our lives are for a reason. The people that have come into our lives are for a reason, and people are located where they are for a reason. At this time.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, they're doing work usually underground, repairing the grids and things like that. Yeah.
So if we do your course soon, do we get to see you dance?
Well, you probably get to see me on social media. I'm sure someone will post it. But yeah. Girls, where can people go to find out more information about you, what you do, where you hang out, like your content?
We're on a lot of social media: Instagram, Telegram, YouTube. We have a channel called The Venus Twins. That's what we were told we're known as, too, The Venus Twins. Yeah. We didn't make that up, did we?
That's on YouTube for as long as that stays there. So just look at our link tree. I know, it's quite amazing, actually. I got a bit of a note on Instagram tonight saying we're monitoring what you're doing, and then I couldn't write something, and then it said, how do you feel about that? Let us know, or something, and then it went bang off, and I went, oh, here we go. They're watching me. My numbers sort of go up and they come down. They go up and they come down. So crazy.
But mainly our website is a great place to find out about us, which is called wisdomhealing.com.au, and we have a link tree with all our social media. So I think we're called Wisdom Healing 369 on Instagram and Telegram. It's the same name. And our link trees are linked to those. And
we do quantum healings, which basically means cellular healing.
Yeah.
And we work with, we've just started offering 2 new services on the website for animals. So we do animal readings, psychic readings, and animal healings.
Wow. That's impressive.
which is coming along really nicely now. We're just putting out a new little video with some audio of a live one that we did in 24 hours or something. I think that's going up.
Yeah, we speak to the animal's higher self. It can be a deceased animal, or it can be still living. We talk to their higher self to help them communicate with their owner, with not their owner. They're not really their owner.
I don't really like that word. No. They don't. Our guides don't really like calling.
We don't own our pets. We're their guardians, really, and their best friend, family. Yeah. But we help them communicate what they need to communicate to the family.
We might read this out because it's really lovely. We heard this on Instagram, and we kind of got a bit inspired by it. So we put it on our video about animals. In Hawaiian, you don't call yourself your pet's owner. You are their kahu. Kahu has many meanings, among them guardian, protector, steward, beloved attendant. Basically, someone entrusted with the safekeeping of something precious, something cherished. What a kahu protects is not their property. What they protect is part of their soul. That's not from us, but we just heard that. We thought it was so beautiful.
Well, that's always a good thing when you say that people who have dogs, for example, dogs are like your best friend. But they also like know when you're sad and upset and you want to be left on your own, but they also know when to come back and when the time's right. And then what's dog spelled backwards?
Of course.
I know.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's the most beautiful thing to be able to channel their higher self and speak to them. Some of them are so cute and so funny
they are.
What they say.
Yeah.
It's really gorgeous.
I remember a cat saying, I'd give up my dinner to take, she attacked her owner. And she was a young soul, this cat. She goes, I'd give up my dinner to take that behaviour. I'm feeling very sorry about it. I wish I hadn't done that. I feel really ashamed of myself.
That's brilliant.
It was really cute. It was really, really cute. But they'll offer, the higher self will, speaks, in that innocent way still, but will offer suggestions, if it's a domestic animal, to the owner to help them heal. And, but we can work with, wild animals as well.
Right.
Yeah, even if they don't have, of course, they're not going to have an owner, most likely. And we don't particularly.
We don't have to
encourage to talk to people who have animals in cages. It's not really. We don't particularly. Oh, I don't.
No.
Like
so it's all
so
done
much,
remotely, not in person with the animal.
Yeah.
And the animal doesn't have to be present, but they can be if they want to be with the owner.
The majority of our work's with humans.
Yeah.
And in person, but most of it is via Zoom now, because of security reasons now, becoming a bit of a reality. We want to be careful.
Yeah, of course.
But we speak to people all over the world. It's really beautiful work. We love it.
Yeah, amazing. Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of your wisdom, your journeys, everything you're doing, your course. Guys, please check out their course. The fact that you can do it in your own time as well and download it from the website makes it even more accessible and easier to follow.
Return to Sovereignty and God, the course.
Amazing.
By us and the Andromedan Council of Nine and our guides who are called the Nine. So,
love
it's
it.
Pretty cool.
And we'll send you our links too.
Yeah.
It's easy for you then. Just put it below this if you can.
Yeah, we'll do. I'll put everything in the show notes, guys. And if for those of you who have tuned in, please, share this with as many people as possible. I'm sure you've got many friends and family going through a bit of a shift at the minute. So, share content like in conversations like this with them. Don't share all the fear-based stuff. All right. We need to move completely away from all that. And that's how we collectively all come together, and people aren't feeling on their own, isolated in these little boxes that people are trying to keep them in. We need to bring this unity consciousness, as you say, together as a collective.
Step outside, go for a walk, and go to one of AJ's meetings.
Start realizing that you are the creator, basically, and you create this reality, fear-based and love-based. So if you want to continue looking to all the fear-based stuff, you'll stay there. If you want to look to the unity side of things, where it's all very positive, then that's where you need to start dipping your foot in.
Watch the wave of love come on in and ride it.
Exactly.
A growing number of us coming together.
Exactly. And it's creating a massive ripple effect, which I love. I love being the observer of, which is been a big part of this. So, but no, thank you, ladies, for coming on. And guys and girls, please share this, as I said. And if you like any of the podcasts recently, please give them a share. As I've mentioned before, I'm heavily censored and shadow banned on many channels, so I'm quite limited to where the content gets out. But if this resonated with you, you know, all I ask is that you share it. But from myself and the Venus twins, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you very, very soon once again on the AJ Roberts Show. Much love.
Bye. Thank you.